limit breaks here on the top blue side, and there'll be also Eternite.Forte on the red side. It's gonna be me and JohnGalt casting. Sorry, John, your text is a little smaller because your name is way too long to actually fit in my little box over there. But it's okay. Like the last time, I just made it JohnGalt, but I want people to actually know your full name. But it is what it is. It's gonna be here on Lijiang Tower. So let's get started with our game. Gonna be the profile handling out, and I'm very excited to see what these two teams have to the table.
So we actually see a sort of a mirror composition coming up because both Thai teams will be looking to play a Doomfist, and Doomfist in the current meta is actually a very strong character. The only thing is sometimes some teams may not have a Doomfist specialist or a player that actually has experience playing Doomfist. So when that doesn't happen, you tend to find the team playing a Genji instead. But in this case, both teams looks like they will have a Doomfist player for each of the team.
Yeah, the Thai guys actually very love the Doomfist, that's for sure. But Annoying Boy getting the first fist there. Finally, Mads popping off, getting 3 so far. The Hanzo uncontested. Eternite.Forte bringing it into their control. They're gonna go for the contest on the point. Perfect sleep dart onto Kasin as well. And now Mads hopping onto the perch, getting a few shots. Swaggins and the Moira now of Malegna have to back off.
So even though Annoying Boy had the first pick, they still lost the fight, and that's the specialty, that's the strength and the weakness of a Doomfist player, because when you punch in, when you use your abilities to go in, you have one less to get out, and a true master of a Doomfist will know exactly when to go in and when to go out. So while it was a good job by Annoying Boy, we will be hoping that a Doomfist, he will be trying to get something more without dying. So anyway, a great Hunter Dragon by Mads will take out both Swaggins and Malegna, and it's another clean out.
Mads has been so good on that Hanzo getting to with that. Honestly, I did a little amateur spectator thing. I tried to go into the wall and I just hit it. So that was amazing camera work. But anyway, like Mads getting communicated by his team, putting up the Sonic Arrow to see that it was going to be limit breaks at the top part. An easy choke point. But now we do see have Coalescence here from Malegna. Shatter comes on out. Crystal's going for the charge. Doesn't really get much. Here comes the Red Doomfist of Eternite. Here we go again with the Thai names. But now the Red Doomfist has to back off. Sees Kasin in his face. Limit breaks now taking control of the point, and they're gonna be able to take this.
And this is gonna be really dangerous for Eternite because Pragai they already have a Graviton, and if you look at Doomfist ultimate, they also have a Meteor Strike, which means that in the subsequent fight, it's going to be very hard for them to lose this fight. It will be a Eternite fight to lose, and hopefully they will make this a dry push and go about it in the fight after this one. And maybe they will have a chance to win. But before that, let's see whether they can actually get off the combo.
Graviton Surge there from Pragai. Annoying Boy gonna go in. Gets 2 so far. Limit breaks. Pushing it to the limit. Getting some kills. But Mads once again uncontested. This Hanzo is absolutely ridiculous. And the offense of Eternite.Forte going the way of the Hanzo. Sadly, he has to fall to Annoying Boy. But every time Mads has even an inch of space, he gets a kill. And there he got 2.
This mad guy is Maz, just like his name. And with Topaki and Choco Wolf is going to have their ultimate soon enough, so they will have a combo of their own along with Mad's own dragon. So let's see how Topaki is going to lay out this Graviton. Where is it going to be? But at the back, Annoying Boy all the way out Choco Wolf.
Graviton Surge, and we do see the Dragon Strike as well. Doesn't really lead any to kills. And ING going into the backline. Limit breaks using the Shadow Step to allow the Reaper to go for the flank. We do see a Red Reaper now. Oh no! Shadow Step trying to get away. It's not gonna be enough. He gets a face full of lead instead. Limit breaks right now in total control of the point, and they have 3 ultimates to prove it.
The problem right there with the combination was there was just not enough follow-up after Swaggins the Lucio used his sound barrier. So that's something you have to be really careful of, because defensive ultimates really put a dent in the damage and the follow-up damage that you have after you use your Graviton.
So now we have Coalescence to start things off. We do see a Shatter there from Crystals. He gets the charge, but ING going for the Dance of Death. Gets to Death Blossom onto the 2 supports. No healing. It's now the Nano Boosted Reaper trying his best to solo this out. It's not going to be enough. Mads all the way in the back. Just no way to even get onto the point, and Eternite.Forte has to concede this one.
Every small mistakes matters, Ducks, and when it comes to having the enough damage to follow up after a Graviton, every single damage matters. If you are a hero, if you're a champion, if you're a character that's reloading your gun as your Zai use Graviton, then that's 1/6 of a damage that's not going to be follow up on the Graviton. So I think they will be looking for a title game, they will be hoping for a title game going into Gardens for both teams. Title game going to Gardens, Eternite versus Limit Break, and looks like both teams will be playing a dive com.
Honestly,
Ryan
Zara. But I was about to say, at Eternite there, a little too much relying on Mads in that first night market match. They only got the point thanks to the Hanzo just getting those kills left and right and even stopping that second push. But the moment Mads actually ran out a little bit of momentum, Eternite struggled, but looks like Mads is gonna be the hard carry that they want. He gets a pick off onto Malegna already, and that's the bridge is somewhere you never want to go onto when the opposing team has a Pharah and you don't.
And Mets, even when he swap out to a Pharah, he's still doing a lot of work on that Pharah of his. Hanzo Pharah, he doesn't care. Met is Met. So it will be Eternite with the first take on the point.
Very, very quick engagement here from Eternite. Honestly, it's a little disheartening here from the side of Limit Breaks. They're not running the Pharah Mercy with the dive. Interesting enough, usually that's what you see more so in Gardens. You see the Flyers, you see the dive comp. Speaking of the dive comp, it's gonna be Pragai pushing on in, getting healed up by Malegna. Chocowolf just hopping around. Now we do see a 1-for-1 trade. Ceres is flying around, just trying to heal up as much as she can. ING though with the pickoff and this Tracer into the back line. Here comes Limit Breaks going at Eternite, and Mads now Rocket Barrage is available, but the rest of his team isn't. So Limit Breaks will get the capture of the point.
So annoying boy, looking to be truly annoying with his shurikens, but for the subsequent fight, for the next fight, he will have his Dragon Blade. So we will see whether the Dragon Blade is enough, because on the other hand, a great shadow by Krista, and he's going all the way to the backline.
Dragon Blade now comes out from Annoying Boy. He cleaves on to 2. Coalescence is going to be there in response to go alongside it, but Limit Breaks already having the team of the opposing force. Eternite.Forte on the retreat. Ceres gets taken down as well. Mads being chased down and taken down. And honestly, that would have been a good initiation there from the side of Eternite with Crystals going for the Shatter, but it's not enough. Annoying Boy getting into the backline, leaping into the air, and just pouncing on the attacking squad.
That's one of the disadvantages if you do not have control of the point. You have to cross this very precarious bridge, and that means you're gonna be choked really easily. And we have this again, a bomb all the way to the backline that pushes Eternite to the side and hence to their doom with Kaysin's very, very angry primal rage.
Honestly, that was very well timed there from Limit Breaks, using the D.Va self-destruct to actually use the force of the self-destruct explosion to push them to the corner. Kasin saw the opportunity for the corner push, got the primal rage out and about, got 2 kills with an environmental, and it even was a sound barrier in response there from Chocowolf. So Limit Breaks now expending that defensive ult, can use the pulse bomb in any form or manner, and the Annoying Boy has the Dragon Blade in just a bit. But we now see the Deadeye. Grafton Surge is gonna be out and about. ING with a pick off onto the McCree, and this looks really good here for Limit Breaks, taking care of that DPS. Now the second one falls here for the side of Eternite. Mads up in the air, but Annoying Boy this time taking control of the gun, has the Dragon Blade out. Rod Barrage comes on out from Mads. He's been holding on to that for so long, and it leads to absolutely nothing. Limit Breaks now at the verge of victory. Ceres going for the overtime contest, but now we do see the Red Genji fall. Pragai with another set of picks. Can the overtime be held? Yes, it will. Limit Breaks takes the first win.
It kind of feels like both teams are very inverse of each other, because we have Eternite carried by Mets. I mean, not to pull anything away from the other teams, but as we have it POTG by Mets himself, his Pharah and his Hanzos both doing a lot of work for Eternite. Oh, this was a great Hanzo. I remember this one. This is the one where you were facing the wall, wasn't it?
Yeah, I smashed into the wall. You see that? You see the sign? I smashed into that. But anyway, Mads showing his stuff with that Hanzo. Absolutely impressive play. And Limit Breaks now taking the first win in this fight. Look at 41% from Mad.
I think we will be seeing Reinhardt from both Cassian and Crystal, because Reinhardt is still a very, very popular and strong hero pick in Rialto, and if you are not sure about your own skill set as a Hammond player, then you can always default to Reinhardt.
Always, always. Reinhardt is absolutely tried and tested to a fault, season 1 and beyond. On the other hand, trying to play the Wrecking Ball is still a learning curve for a number of players. Mostly players who aren't used to mobility too much, either like hit tank players or, as you said, main tank players like Reinhardt's or Zarya's, not really using too much mobility. So the Wrecking Ball is something you do need to ease into and understand the angles and the corners of the map geometry. But anyway, it is gonna be what it is. Limit Breaks gonna be on the first defense here. They already took the first point on Lijiang Tower, and we will see the Ryan Zarya and of course Annoying Boy gonna be on that Doomfist.
Hanzo is actually more and more often Hanzo in the top level of play. It's seen as a character that just isn't that strong anymore, but we will see Hanzo coming out from both teams, and I think one of the reasons for this is because you have a Zarya, and if you have a Graviton, it gives a lot of potential to get off those combos. And if you run an Ana Mercy, which a lot of teams seems to like to run in the current meta, you have combos after combos with no Transcendence to stop it.
So why would you say that the Hanzo isn't as strong anymore? Besides the fact that you can't boost the Dragon Strike, is it because of the Storm Arrow nerfs? What would be
the strongest DPS right now? The strongest DPS right now would be Sombra, Doomfist, Genji, and the combinations you have with EMP and a second offensive ultimate, and people feel a lot of coaches feels that's a lot stronger than whatever combos you can bring to the table with the Graviton and the Hanzo Arrow.
Yeah, okay, I understand that. Very, very smart. The EMP just turning out the lights and turning out the abilities there. So the Sombra, very, very strong pick right now, especially with the permanent invisibility. But no Sombra here, double Hanzo instead, and we see Eternite now running the farmer. See Ceres just trying to pocket her Pharah this time, and Annoying Boy just hopping around, trying to take control of the high ground.
So we do have Annoying Boy trying to be as annoying as he can. All the way to Meds. He's looking for Meds, and Meds is trying to get him, gets a punch on Meds, and Meds get taken out of the fight. So right now we have Eternite in the air trying to, oh wow, that punch by Annoying Boy. Do you see that, Dux?
Yeah, Annoying Boy going for the Hail Mary punch, landing into the sky with the uppercut and getting the punch on out. Really good flank, however, from Eternite. They're allowed to go into the plaza already with almost no resistance from Kassin. Kassin forced to back off because there's no damage coming behind him. But the Reinhardt now just putting a foot onto the payload, just wanting to put a stop to the advance of Eternite. ING now switching to the McCree. Really good pick here with the McCree, just getting a shutdown onto the floating hero. ING gonna go push on in with Frog Guy. 3 picks going the way of Limit Breaks, and that's gonna be a hold for the time being.
So Pragai and Topoki both coming up to Graviton of their own, but Pragai just a little bit closer, so we will be looking at Pragai for the subsequent fight to see whether they get off the combo that they so truly want. Of course, ING has switched to a McCree, so they will not get the Dragon combo right there. It will have to be to the DPS and the Reinhardt just swinging the hammer to the people choreograph for that follow-up damage.
But Crystal Z does have the shatter in just a bit. It only depends if Annoying Boy can get pixel. Yes, yes! Both Mercies are gone! Rock Barrage! That's a lot of rockets for one hero. Mats with the pick as well onto Pragai. Eternite losing members fast, but it's gonna be Limit Breaks at -1 for the time being. Nano boosted Reinhardt just going rampant, trying to do some damage. Both Reinhardts are gonna go Super Saiyan here. Shatter comes on out, but that's not gonna work anymore. No more lingering. Crystals going for the dash. Doesn't get too much with that charge. Eternite though finally moving on in. Swaggins has to drop down and trying to retreat, being healed up there by Mylegna, but so far the control of the plaza in Eternite's favor. Dragon Strike as well coming in through the tunnel, and that's gonna be the first point taken. Graviton Surge at the end. Pragai trying to make something happen, but it's too late to contest. Now he's really low, just 100 energy and a dream. Pragai just getting a rocket instead of his deli delivery.
And perhaps because perhaps both teams will be watching the VOD of this game after the whole cast, after the whole open deep match. So I'd like to use this moment to add that generally in Rialto first point you get 2 fights. In this case they only got 1 fight because there was a bit of stagger. So you pretty much don't want things like that to happen. So you can get the full 2 fights, 1 fight at choke at the start and another fight at the first point of Rialto.
Rialto is one of those maps where you can actually go for a Hail Mary play, just charge on in with the Reinhardt and someone can help you out. Annoying Boy now in the back line, gets a combination there. Chocowolf taking a dip, ING Deadeye in the middle, gets a pick off onto one. Limit Breaks using the standard corner defense on the second point, just keeping the payload away from the docks, away from the delivery to the museum, and Eternite forced to retreat on out.
So let's see whether Limit Break will get the customary 2 fights here, because in this part of the map you generally tend to get 2 fights as well. So 1 fight at this arch over here and 1 fight in the next point. So but for the next fight, Eternite will have their combination ready at their fingertips with so much follow-up damage that it's gonna be hard to lose the fight. Look at Topoki with his grab, look at Farah, look at Hansel. They all have their ultimates and that's a lot of follow-up damage.
Dragon Strike is available. 3 ultimates, as John was saying. Annoying Boy gonna go for the flank, but taking so many arrows, has to use the Meteor Strike to get the iframe and stay alive. Swag still with a pick off, and Annoying Boy inside the building goes for the punch, almost gets the skill on Tokpoki, but Tokpoki finally gets taken down. 3-for-1 trade so far. Crystal's just swinging away, doesn't really get much. Chocowolf, perfect sleep dart there, and the support's allowed to hop, skip, and jump back to the other side of the bridge.
And slowly but surely they're collecting so many more ultimates, and it just isn't enough for now, because it's not enough having the ultimates and saying, look, we have more ultimates, we deserve to win. You actually have to execute these ultimates properly to get the fight win. So Topoki will be trying to position himself once more. There we go, Topoki all the way to the backline, catching 3 people in the backline.
Huge ultimate combination there from Eternite. Nano boosted fire, Rocket Barrage there, getting 3 kills. Mads as well, sealing the deal with that Dragon Strike. So my leg now, pop the Valkyrie, just gonna fly off into the distance as well, soaring like an eagle, caw. But Limit Breaks has to concede that point. Perfect combination there from Eternite, and the payload now moving on into the museum area.
So once again, they will only have 1 fight at streets here, and that's actually, oh, they're actually going for a fight! What the...
Frogai
Okay.
enjoying these gravitons. I think Frogai just like, I'm gonna pretend we had that second fight. Just gonna go for the grab as the payload reaches at the checkpoint. They do get the win, but now they don't have a grab. It might be a call here from Limit Breaks to just try and charge up a new grab, not really combo it out. Instead, just go on in, get some kills with your normal abilities. So Limit Break gonna cycle the graviton surge in their ult economy that way. Always an option.
Yeah, of course, definitely a surprising play there by Limit Break that I wasn't expecting. Kassin trying to put some pressure on the Crystal. Crystal's gonna get pocketed by Valkyrie. Great shadow by Kassin. Gonna get charged the Topoki, but there's just not enough damage. Or it is actually enough damage. And Crystal charging off the map just at the edge. And both Red Hat fighting each other mano and mano. And it will be Kassin that wins the fight.
Kassin and Crystals. Crystals probably inviting Kassin for a quick romantic stroll along the Venice canals. See, even the Roba is ready for them, but I guess it's not. Kassin a little having cold feet, just a little too shy to actually go on in, take a dip, and now Kassin just gonna hold in front of the payload. We do see a fire grenade there from Swaggins. Nano Boost is available. Double Doomfist now coming out from both squads. Meteor Strike though from Annoying Boy, gonna go into the backline to stay alive. And that's one of the uses of the Meteor Strike. You don't really need to get a kill with it. It's not that good for getting kills. Compared to that, the Deadeye just locks on in, takes someone down, flashbang comes on out however, and Crystals takes advantage of the charge from Kassin. Matt from the other side gets 3, perfectly placed. This guy knows his geometry, probably aces his math class there with those triangles, with those squares, and with anything that can go through a shape.
So Matt's on fire once again, the only one on his team on fire, and I wonder where I've seen this before. Oh right, we saw this in Lijiang where he carried his whole team to a very fast victory on Night Market. So the final push, final fight, really in the third point of Rialto, where Kassin is looking to play against Crystal once again, but actually hits, goes for the charge, but hits the side of the payload. So, oh wow, great shatter! All member.
Yeah, it's a shatter. Crystals tried to go for the block, but barely at the edge. Good rotation there from Kassin. We saw the glitch as well, where he almost did a double Earth Shatter. Crystals now just going crazy in the backline, putting Frogai to the wall, taking him down. Shatter is available. Can Limit Breaks get back into it? No! Graviton Surge will just seal that left entrance, put Limit Breaks back into their spawn. And that's going to be Eternite taking a full cap here on Rialto. Solid play from them, playing as a team and 30 seconds in their timeout.
So going to the next fight, both teams once again want a title match. There are fights not being fought here, my friends. And these fights must be fought if you want to stand a chance of winning. If they actually got the 2 extra fights ongoing for Rialto, that 13 seconds wouldn't even exist. That would have been the 0 seconds. And perhaps that's important in the greater scheme of things. So they might have gotten a full hold, they might have gotten a hold before the third point, and that's to say set plays on Rialto is important, my friend. You scream to make sure you get these two fights consistently again and again, and I think both teams, like I mentioned, will want a title game in the subsequent round of Rialto.
Yeah, really solid play there from Eternite, capitalizing on the more or less mistimed staggers in by limit breaks. Mads once again a dominant force, but credit where credit due. Crystals showing up, Chalk Wolf showing up as well. I don't know the name of the Pharah because it's a tie, but when they combo up well, him and Ceres, the pharmacy, doing some work as well. And the switch to the Doomfist to try and contest Annoying Boy was one to watch. Interesting enough, is this gonna be a role swap? No, Malegna's just jumping around, I guess, with the Doomfist. Gonna be a GOAT's composition here for the attack, looks like it. On the other hand, the defense gonna run the Pharah. Always a safe pick on Rialto to run the Pharah, compared to maps like maybe King's Row or Route 66, because of the fact the sightlines for a Widowmaker isn't as open as it could be. Lots of buildings here, lots of beautiful art, and lots of architecture gonna be saving that Pharah from a sniper shot here and there.
And Limit Break doesn't yet know the DPS that Eternite are bringing to the table, but Pharah and Hanzo's are actually the customary counter in patch 1.26 and 1.27, the older patches. It's one of the strongest counter against a Goats comp. So many teams will see a Hanzo and a Pharah when they see an enemy team play Goats. So this is Goats versus its old traditional counter. So we'll see how a Limit Break actually executes against Eternite, and someone already dies. Someone already died here. Striking going down, an Annoying Boy trading out Crystal straight away.
Okay, so based on what John said, this is basically, guys, when you play rock, paper, scissors and you try to force scissors to win against rock, this is what Eternite is, I mean Limit Breaks is doing against Eternite, but somehow they are getting the push. They haven't fully lost. They did lose some members, but they still have to sustain. Good fire grenade there from Chocolate, but Malegna popping the coalescence, trying to aim it at the Pharah, shoots the Pharah down the sky. Limit Breaks now pushing on in. This is gonna be a change of rule set now for rock, paper, scissors, I guess, as Limit Breaks is so close to that first checkpoint. Can they actually make it? Annoying Boy ready with the self-destruct, gonna be the first checkpoint taken. 5:23 on the time bank.
I guess rock, paper, scissors only really matters if your rock is truly a rock and your scissors are scissors. But the rock right here looks more like a papery rock, and the papers look like a scissory paper. And we do have the counter being counted. Hey, I'm being counted, my friend.
I'm happy that you tried to add on to that, but no. But anyway, where were we? That's really funny, actually. Six ultimates ready here for Eternite in their second point defense. We have the Graviton and there's Rocket Barrage. There's nothing much to say. That's been 3 kills. Look at the Brigitte of ING. Just try his best to go for the mace hits. He's gonna fall to Mads. But the Brigitte now and the Diva both do fall. Eternite solid defense, just using 2 of their 6 ultimates in that fight.
And Pharah looks like he's fighting with Mads for to be the carry of the team. A great rocket barrage over there, floated over the head of the Graviton and let loose the barrage. Great follow-up damage by the team, and therefore winning the fight.
Yeah, so here comes Limit Breaks. Gonna go for the reset. Interesting enough, they are still gonna run the Goat's composition. Sometimes you actually switch out when you lose the momentum, but now Mads, look at that, going into the boutique store of all things. Can you address Malegna with the takedown after the charge? Limit Breaks still losing a few members left and right. Gonna back on off. They have a lot of time to do so, and that was a very innovative, to say the least, from Mads. Just using the first one and going onto the other side and getting some shots there onto Kasin. Mads is very creative with these Dragon Strikes.
I gotta say, this is not a good place to play Ghost, but a beautiful self-destruct is going to get shielded by Crystal. And of course, Kasin now following up with the charge, bringing Crystal all the way to the backline, will be responded with a shuttle onto Pookie.
Yeah, Tokuki though doesn't really fall. The Pharah now trying to make it rain onto the Reinhardt, and the Brigitte just walks in front of the Brigitte once again. Very dangerous. Graviton Surge now comes on out from Pragai, takes down Mads. Tokuki hopping on the way. Nano Boost is available here for Choco Wolf just in case they need it in this fight. And look at how the Eternite.Forte is already positioned for that last point defense. It's gonna be very vital. Now the boost up comes on out, but it's a misplay. Tteokbokki is the one who gets it instead. That was going to be for the Reinhardt, but we do see a sound barrier coming in from Swaggins. Rocket Barrage is countered pretty heavily by Prog, guys. Double charges coming out, not really leading to kill. Tteokbokki this time getting the Graviton onto 2. Annoying Boy doesn't get the defense matrix, but it's going to be a self-destruct instead to the face, and Ceres will be caught out in the explosion range. 2 kills going the way of the attack, and Mads with the last-ditch effort with the Dragon Strike doesn't get it in time. Gonna be Eternite.Forte forced to fold in that fight.
And of course they actually got 2 fights here on defense, but the time still ticks down, and there's a lot of time left for Eternite because they have 4 minutes to push through 2 points. No, Limit Break has 4 minutes to push through 1 single point, and we will see whether Eternite we'll see whether the GOAT actually breaks through the 3rd point here.
Solid work so far, and this is actually pretty good here for Limit Breaks, unless Mads with that Junkrat does way too much damage. If they can move on in beside the choke and just engage onto the tank line and the support line, they can actually get some kills quite easily. My leg now gonna push on, and Coalescence comes on out, gets flown to the side by the concussive mine, but Mads, that was not what Mads wanted to do. My leg now got the ability to just point it downwards. I have not seen something like that since Dragon Ball Z, to say the least. And Limit Breaks, just being the Super Saiyans that they are, going Ultra Instinct in that last push.
I remember Dragon Ball Z, there was a scene in the manga where this character used his Kamehameha to fly into the air, right? He blasted the ground and it actually slowed down his descent. And that was what the Moirage Coalescence reminded me of.
Yeah,
when he blasted it down with the ground with the Coalescence, right? Just to see whether he can fly.
Yeah, well, absolutely solid work right there from Limit Breaks. Like I was saying, the GOAT's comp can just dominate the 3rd part of Rialto the moment they get past that choke. The Lucio just speed boost in, it's like, come on guys, let's just go. Just ignore those grenades and hope for the best. And it actually went out in their favor, as we saw my leg now. Coalescence leads to flying into the sky. Easy kills going the way of the Moira and the rest of Limit Breaks. Now, we see on defense, not gonna run Nephara, gonna have the Doomfist and the Hanzo once again. And I'm gonna say, Annoying Boy pretty good on the Doomfist, but not really his best. I'm not sure. So far, I've been more impressed with his other heroes besides the Doomfist.
No, I agree with you. Annoying Boy, his Doomfist. I was looking through his POV earlier, and his Doomfist, it's a tad over aggressive. So he might get a kill or 2, but he will always die for it, or he regularly dies for it. So for him to succeed, he needs to get a kill, and he needs to live. He needs to get out safely alive, so he can continue getting the subsequent kills, right? 1 kill, survives, gets out. The 2nd kill, survives, gets out. That's how a Doomfist should be playing, and we will be seeing whether he managed to play Doomfist without being too aggressive.
Speaking of Doomfist, however, we see a Doomfist on the side of Eternite. Mads starting things off, trying to isolate Kassin, put the Reinhardt in a bad spot. But Mads out really low, gets sniped out by Swaggins. Good focus fire there from ING and Swaggins. Limit Breaks do take control, but there's gonna be a charge. Kassin to the wall. The Reinhardt's battling. Crystals gets taken down. It's always good to see your Reinhardt get the charge on the opposing Reinhardt, but not at the expense of all your teammates dying behind them. In the meantime, Earthshatters are more or less pretty close. Crystal's 1 swing advantage might be able to make a difference in this last 10-second push.
The ultimates are split out pretty much evenly across all 6 members of the team. Everyone is about 50-60% ultimate charge. So whoa!
Annoying Boy gets a quick little nap there from Choco Wolf, giving him some Choco Milk to make him sleep instead. Over time now has been popped. Gonna be Kassin giving some space here to Eternite, and this is gonna be Eternite capitalizing. They're gonna take down onto ING. Mads taking a nap into middle, but no one's there to shut him down. Crystals once again for this charge. Doesn't really get much. Ceres is trying to keep Crystals and Mads topped on up. ING though in the backline doing some damage. We do see the Anubis right now onto Kassin, and that's gonna be a shatter as well. ING with a takedown onto 2, but Mads can't move, cannot go for the contest. Limit Breaks holding them at that small tree.
Yeah, so beautiful play there by Limit Break and Eternite, both like a bit messy maybe, but both Doomfist doing a lot of work. So I believe both Doomfist got quite a bit of kills in the previous fight. I think Annoying Boy got a kill on Anna early in the fight, and he didn't die for it. He managed to get off the thing alive and continue contributing to the fight that was still being fought. So lots of Doomfist play, a bonus today for sure, since Doomfist is such a rare character.
So as we were saying, just the Doomfist. Honestly, for both teams, I'll be saying it right now. As we were talking about a while ago earlier, we were talking about Doomfist specialists. These guys don't feel like absolute specialists. They feel like guys who are flexing onto Doomfist due to the meta and are improving. By their playtime, but still not at the highest echelon of Doomfist play for both teams. On the other hand, ING and Mads showing a pedigree of DPS in a variety of roles. Now Limit Breaks gonna move on in with the goats once again. Just gonna be their tried and tested, and usually use the goats more offensively than defensively in the first place.
So it looks like it will be Eternite's turn to defend this time, and will be setting up at the choke once again, and they will be facing off against goats. And this time it's no longer Farah Hanzo as the DPS of choice. It will be Doomfist Junkrat. So a different set of characters that's good against goats comp, but totally different from their previous choice. So interesting pick.
I feel like the difference between Farah Hanzo and Junkrat Doomfist are two distinct declarations. With Farah Hanzo, you want to make space and just kill them from afar. On the other hand, Mads is going to be on Junkrat, and there's going to be Doomfist as well. This is going to be about ground domination, but now Mads gets moved on up. Oh no! Mads and Kassin! How did that even happen? Concussive Mind for fling Kassin into the air, still gets the charge. Gonna be the goats though of Limit Breaks, getting the win here so far, getting the push. The Junkrat dying was the icing on the cake for Limit Breaks, and that charge from Kassin, a suicide play. Chocowolf, the final to fall, and that's gonna be the game. But if you just saw how far the Reinhardt and the Junkrat just flew all the way to the river, smashed into the building, it was just like Avengers all over again.
Play of the game.
So, oh, look at who got POTG once again.
What
Surprise,
a surprise.
It's Mets once more with his trigonometry all the way to the side. Oh, I remember this one. He slid it all the way to the side and it went all the way cutting through the back line, and they couldn't move it back because, yeah, they were getting cut. They were getting cut by an angry right hand from the front.
Absolutely solid play
great
right there from Mads. Has been the highlight of his team. Eternite.Forte showing a lot of heart in that one.
Then this is one of the meta that's being played right now. The Orisa Diva defense on the high ground on Nest, but you have to use the Symmetra to teleport the whole team up there. So we'll see whether they'll be using it, or will they just be playing at the simpler whole point of the platform.
We'll see what both teams are gonna be running. Gonna be Limit Breaks though with that 2-0. If they take it here, they take the whole series. On the other hand, Eternite.Forte showing a lot of fortitude, especially with their star player here. Come on, we already know who it is. Mads, amazing play from this DPS guy. On the other hand, Limit Breaks playing as a little more cohesively than the opposing team. A little more communication, going a long way from the side of Limit Breaks. So Eternite now needs to prop themselves up, give them a pat on the back, and work together to win out here on Temple of Anubis, because they have the skill, they have the tactics. All they need to do is execute just a little better than Limit Breaks does.
And when it comes to compositions in the the mechanics of both teams, it really is about execution. If you execute your composition better, even if the enemy team runs the counter composition, it's not going to be enough to beat you, because Ghost is a very powerful comp that's able to beat through even its counters. So really, you just need to do it better.
And I love this. I love this right now from Limit Breaks. Kassin going for the Hail Mary, full of tossing the barrier all the way up on top. Absolutely solid there, allowing ING to safely go for a snipe there. Tokuki trying to go for the counter, but the barrier in his way. Really smart there from Kassin. Something to emulate, honestly, on Temple of Anubis. If you don't expect them to actually move on in, it's almost always two things on Anubis. You see some tanks rush in, or gonna be a Widow v Widow to start things off. Now Crystal Z gonna jump into the backline, gonna be up on top, forcing the Widowmaker to move away. Annoying Bay onto Junkrat though, isolating Chocowolf, who's gonna take the win. Sleep Dart doesn't really connect. In the meantime, back onto the point, we do see the tanks try to contest. Tokpoki with a takedown onto my leg and kills ING as well in your face. Tokpoki showing his stuff with the Widowmaker. This Widow absolutely rampant. Praga getting the self to shock. Will it actually lead to kills? Oh my god, it gets to Matt and Ceres do get taken down, but Tokpoki on this Widowmaker uncontested, getting some kills. The Winston of Crystals trying to go for the victory onto the point alongside Chocowolf, and it's gonna be Eternite moving on in. Where was this Widowmaker 2 games ago? As Eternite.Forte taking control of the point, we see the the mercy of my leg now swoop on in, just whip out the pistol and die.
No, this is not how you play Widow, my friend. You're gonna stagger, and this is going to mean that Eternite gets an opportunity to fight before the Widow actually switches character. And there we have it. They're touching the point, they're contesting the point, and they're going to be switching. ING is going to be switching to Sombra to contest the point and get back to the fight a lot faster. But is it going to be enough? It looks like they will be snowballing off their first fight for the second point.
And Tteokbokki here has been absolutely rampant with this Widowmaker. Sadly, for ING, he can't set up the point because he just literally switched as the red team came on in. No hack, held back equals no map control for the Sombra. Matt still gets blown up by Annoying Boy. Good use of the Reply there to get rid of the Genji, one of the peskier heroes in this fight. Kasin gets a sleep dart and gets taken down. But here comes Limit Breaks finally moving on in, getting the kill. Sadly, Eternite.Forte with even all that steam, they just fall flat. Trying to go for the second point, they're just getting staggered. The tank still contesting alongside the Genji of Mads. Can they keep this up? Mads instead just using the opportunity to charge up his ultimate, and he dies there to the hand of Squagons.
How do you lose that fight?
I'm honestly taken aback that they lost that fight. They really had that in the bag. Nano Blade and picks from the Widowmaker should have been the deal sealer, as well as ING not even getting the hacks onto any health packs or onto any opposing heroes. Limit Breaks though just eking it out at the end. Now 5 minutes here for Eternite.Forte to push on in.
So positioning found a little bit wanting from Eternite that actually led to a couple of their players dying in the fight, where they should be safe at the backline, waiting for their tanks to push out the remaining few members of Limit Break. But regardless, Coco Wolf will be making a pick on ING, and they will be using this opportunity to push all the way to the backline. We'll be going for the Mercy. Mercy's gonna break out the Valkyrie to escape from the wanting hands of both tanks.
So Limit Breaks now using the Valkyrie here to chain up their healing and get as much potential from the Mercy as they can. Annoying Boy will take advantage of it, just getting that branch of healing onto him. The Genji not needing healing anymore, gets 2 so far. My leg not even with a melee onto the baby diva. Tteokbokki playing this Tracer, just trying to get some damage done. He gets taken down by ING. And it's interesting to note that it was Eternite switching it out. If you didn't notice as of yet, Eternite has switched the roles. It's gonna be guy who I can't pronounce his name. I love him though. On the tank, and Tteokbokki gonna move on to the DPS role instead. And Tteokbokki has been pretty excellent so far with that Widow and decent with the Tracer.
So role sweeps are actually quite uncommon in the current meta of Overwatch, saying you want to be really good with the characters you're doing, but look, a blade and an EMP, the classic combo of the current meta. It looks like it will be enough. My friend,
that was the defense's EMP, and then
whipping
out the Dragon Blade out of desperation, and honestly, it worked out in their favor. Look, they got 50% of the points, so far so good in the defense, but it could have been a little better for Limit Breaks if they got the shutdown there onto Mads. Annoying Boy held on to his Dragon Blade as well, wants to combo out later on, maybe with the Primal Rage, maybe when they need so, but the first stick has been taken, and Limit Breaks has a little less time to work with.
They will be going into the point once again. A pulse from onto the Diva. Not going to be enough to take Diva out of the map with the pocket from the Mercy. And we are Annoying Boy with the Nano Blade all the way to the backline, cuts down Mets and Chocowolf, and he is looking for more. So yeah, on the point right now, Crystal using his Primal Rage, trying to stall out the point. Not quite succeeding.
Gonna get
it
hacked
looks
up
like
there.
they will be getting the second point.
Yeah, gonna get hacked up there.
Oh man, I keep mixing up attack and defense. So sorry.
It's okay. You got this. But basically what just happened there, a perfect hack coming out from ING. Like I say, sometimes, for some reason, your legs don't work like they used to before when you get hacked up. So maybe it means something in the future, you know. Is it thinking out loud there? But anyway, Limit Breaks just waiting on for the rest of Eternite to move on in, and honestly, this allows Annoying Boy to be pesky with those Shurikens as well as charge up the Dragon Blade. Shock comes out into the middle, doesn't lead to any kills, and the baby diva not meching. Interesting enough, getting some stream drops right there though, as out we do see Limit Breaks with a pickoff onto for the defense, more or less just holding with an easy time.
I think one of the problems here is that Limit Break will still have their EMP combination, so great out-discipline by Limit Break. They knew when enough was enough and they held on to the ultimates, and that's why they will have resources to fight the next fight. I think this was exactly opposite of what happened 2 fights before, where Pragai actually used the Graviton along with the EMP and Blade, if you recall. So that was a little bit over the top, but I think right now they're doing the right thing in holding on to the ultimates so that they get a next fight with the combination.
Yeah, just always, when you are on your defense, you don't want to lose out in terms of ult economy, because there are a multitude of teams who actually lose fights on purpose to force you to go through the ultimates using their superior mechanical skill. Limit Breaks, though, is going to be one of those teams who are going to use this out just to seal it really quickly. Annoying Boy with 1/3 kills. That sounds like a main of something we can't talk about on stream. But Limit Breaks right now, keeping this up. That's gonna be as far as I'm gonna go. Borderline. We're gonna seize the limits there, but that's gonna be it.
Alright,
ING
so
now moving on in. Yeah, go
That
ahead.
was such a clean execution from ING and Annoying Boy. Exactly what the composition is supposed to do. And look at the composition they're trying to run. This is the most meta composition I've seen in in this whole series for now. So this is what I want to see, because this is modern, this is current, and this is powerful. It's also not easy to execute this. So I do like their attempts at trying to make it work, and they are making it work. So Praga with the self-destruct getting Tteokbokki out of the mech. Though of course, Brigitte trading out ING straight off.
Limit Breaks now using the Bio Grenade and the Valkyrie to just keep their team topped up. Very, very smart usage of the Bio Grenade to its full potential. In terms of the defense, Faggots though under a lot of the rest, trying to get away. Mad's pushing on it. As you can see, Eternite has switched over to the goats, but this time these goats don't roam in the proper place. They're not gonna stampede on it. It's Limit Breaks instead with the dive. Now the boost is available. Oh, Mad's popping the Graviton, but it gets eaten up. We have the self-destruct there from Tteokbokki. Doesn't lead to much besides the kill onto my leg now. The rally now comes on out. Self-destruct though in the middle will lead to a takedown. Yes, Chocowolf gets blown up. For now, it is gonna be pretty even so far, but Eternite faltering one by one. Mad's the only one getting some kills this time, and he's just being topped up as much as he can. But now there's gonna be an EMP from ING. Mad's once again putting his team on his back, filling up the kill feed. Now Tteokbokki, the only one left, gets a takedown onto Annoying Boy. Swaggins on the corner. The Ana just hopping around, gets a Bio Grenade and a perfect D-Mech there onto the Diva. Swaggins now under a lot of trouble, gets taken down. Second tick is taken here by the team of Eternite. Kasin just being booped around. Speaking of a boop, it's gonna be Lelouch now sandbarring in, allowing Eternite to push with the rest of their bodies. Annoying Boy now whipping out the blade. Perfect switch strike onto 3. Graviton Surge this time from Mads does connect. Puts the Annoying Boy onto the corner. Makes him stand there. The Red Team now all the way in control. And at the last moment, they seal it. Get the 2-0, but they don't have any time.
That was like a Christopher Nolan's movie, because there's no way that Limit Break should have lost that. The only reason why they lost that was because of one very special player whose name is Matt. He had 100 energy throughout the whole fight, and he was more or less ignored by the DPS player of Limit Break. So he alone single-handedly burned down the Diva out of a mech, went for the Winston, killed the Winston, went for the Mercy, prevented the res, and single-handedly, I believe, he had a hand in killing 4 players from Eternite. That's what you never want to do. You want to focus on 100 energy Xayah, because 100 energy Xayah is like a bastion. It's a win condition sitting right there in the point. In fact, if you have to sacrifice people to kill that 100 energy Xayah, then that's what you will have to do. Because if you don't do that, he will massacre your whole team and he will get a graph while doing it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I keep telling people, if you are in a losing fight or you need to focus someone down, just try to go for the off-time. If you're in a losing fight, the best thing you can do is take down a Diva out of his mech, especially in a map where you can't have suicide. So maybe Diva for the next fight will go slightly in your favor already. Also, on the other hand, if you get a pick off onto a Zarya pretty early, they can't charge the energy, they can't charge the grav. Also, if you take down the Zarya with 100 energy and sacrifice a player for it, it's more than worth it due to the fact that there is no absolutely god laser beam, Draken laser drill just in your face, melting your team. But in the meantime, Eternite.Forte taking a quick little lesson from your analogy, John, goes on to the Bastion. And it's gonna be the Symmetra used to put the Bastion up on top, but they have switched out. Mercy Zenyatta will be the name of the game.
I love this defense coming out from Eternite. So Mets and Bastion both having a bit of fun. Lots of damage in this composition. I was gonna say they don't have a hit scan, but honestly, Bastion is a hit scan, so no problem even if they run a Pharah against them. So it will be Goats versus a Junkrat and a Bastion. I certainly don't want to be the Goats composition right here. It's just gonna be so painful for Goats comp. Look at the Goats comp being pummeled around.
Well, the real question is, can they rotate in time? Because very smart play here from Limit Breaks, literally being under the Bastion, not allowing to get the shots out. It's still be Tokuki going for the good test, and now Mads has the Riptar, gets a takedown onto ING. The Brigitte falling is not one they wanna lose. Annoying Boy suicide dive into the Bastion, gets D-Mech, and pretty much getting staggered so far. My leg now falls, and now the only survivor, Annoying Boy in the backline, getting chased around by the Bastion, but unfortunately for Eternite, they can't go down due to the fact that Symmetra is not in play. So now the two Divas gonna go for a quick little clash, and Limit Breaks gonna go for the reset.
So once again, setting up on the high ground.
Here we
And
go
we
again.
can see exact. I love this dude. Ducks, I love this so much.
But Coalescence now is gonna be into play. It can pierce some barriers, but will it pierce the armor of the Bastion? Configuration tank is available, and here comes the world of tanks. Eternite though still keeping the Bastion up on top. Interesting enough, because there's no way for them to actually reset this. Oh, self-destruct from the Diva! Is it gonna lead to kills? Yes, it is. The Bastion now turning into a pile of scrap. Annoying Boy finally playing his namesake. Annoying Boy also gets the boop there onto Crystal's. Perfect boop to put the Orisa in a precarious situation, but now the Bastion back into play, gonna drop on down because there's no way back in, no way in, no way out. Annoying Boy gets his lesson, gets a quick little spanking there from the Orisa and the Bastion. The Omnic Crisis is upon us here
The
from
Bastion
Eternite.
didn't even care where he was positioned. He slapped himself in the middle of the point, knowing that his teammates will protect him and pocket him through all the damage he was going to take, and he shredded everyone on the point. I love this composition, Ducks, and we will see it once again. They'll no longer be setting up on top of Nest, since they can't get back up there. They will be setting up on platform instead, and because Goats, they are not running a dive comp, Limit Break is not running a dive comp, they will have to take the long way all around, wrapping around, hoping to go into the Bastion from the side.
This is absolutely scary here for Limit Breaks. The Omnic Crisis now is upon them. And honestly, looking at their lineup right now, I hope one day we can have a lineup just full of robots. We have the Zen, the Bastion, and the Orisa having half. But there's the grab! And there's the Shatter! Huge setup! And they're gonna knock down the Bastion and the Mercy of Ceres. Crystals gets taken down as well. And that was a perfect play there from Limit Breaks, pushing it to the absolute limit. Mads absorbing a bunch of Bio Orb damage as well. Bio Grenade now is gonna be ready. I mean, Riptire rather is available, but Eternite.Forte gonna concede that. That was a really good defense from them, but it's just not enough to a well-executed play from Limit Breaks.
So they should have planted the Bastion a little bit further behind, so the Bastion wouldn't have got caught up with the grab. But anyway, regardless, Limit Break will be looking to snowball their advantage, go straight for the charge for the Reinhardt, pushing it all the way to the back, and it will be configuration tank that doesn't quite get anything. Pride getting two players. With Customs returning back to the point, bombs all the way to the edge, not gonna get anything because it's just isn't in.
This might be
Vicinity
the
of
end,
any
guys,
player.
unless the Eternite.Forte can get back onto the point. Gonna be a charge here from Crystal's, gonna hit the column, and that was a really good self-destruct there from Tokpoki, just shutting down the Riptide from ING, but ING has his own Riptide again. He gets a takedown onto Tokpoki's mech. Can Ceres keep the rest of the Red Squad alive, just trying to heal up Mads as much as he can. Limit Breaks though all over the point, getting the takedown onto the Mercy. Second tick has been taken. This might be it here for this round. Mads gets blown up and taken down by the hammer, and 4:15 on the clock. That is so much time here for Limit Breaks to take the win.
That's the power of a Goats comp. If you win
Or
the
11.
first fight in the first point, it's very likely you bring a lot of ultimates into the second point, because one of the key points of Goats composition is that you build ultimates very fast, and you get to keep a lot of ultimates. So you use 3 fights in the first, you use 3 ultimates in the first point, you win the fight off your Graviton the Shadow, you bring the rest of your ultimates, you bring the other 4 ultimates into the second point, and there's just so little the opposing team can do, especially if they switch characters. If they switch off the Orisa, if they switch off the Diva, or if they switch off their DPS, they will find that they have no ultimates to fight against a very powerful 4 ultimates that the Goats comp might potentially have. So we're gonna see whether they still... we're gonna see the composition that they're gonna be playing. It looks like no more Bastion, or Sirius this time. The Mac 3 and a Junkrat.
Hey dude, the Bastion was very potent, and I was actually gonna be in that situation where I would ask if they should have run the Symmetra alongside it to just allow them to get back onto the point as soon
Yeah.
as they can. It
Oh,
was
I like that.
Yeah, I wonder if the Symmetra could have actually made a difference in that defense, allowing them a second chance. But at the same time, maybe no one there is familiar with how the Symmetra's played. Yeah, you know, you can just spam as much as you can. But now we do see a more classical defense here for Eternite, and they have to defend for 4 minutes and 11 seconds in this one. Can they actually get it done?
So they're on
Eternite.Forte
Pharah at first,
feel this. Yo.
and they will be switching out of the Pharah the moment they see there's no Bastion and just a McCree nonetheless, and they will be rushing. They are in position. This is Goat's strength, and of course the Switch is going to take out Moira, so they will be looking to reset. No! They will not be going for the fight! Who cares about Moira if you can kill everyone as fast as you can? Looks like it will not be succeeding, and they will need to reset.
Honestly, Limit Breaks, having the wrong call, I feel, in that one. Should have just backed off instead. They had the Lucio anyway to allow them to go back to their spawn. And notice, Mads already has the Riptire. On the other hand, we see a Pharah now for Eternite, so they're gonna go for the tried and tested explosives build between the Pharah and the Junkrat. Just use the Fire Mercy to apply pressure, and Mads just blow the hell up to Kingdom Come. So Eternite.Forte gonna hide Mads here in the corner, ready with the Riptire.
This is gonna be really, really hard for Ghost this time. So a charge coming out by Cassin, and I'm not too sure about that charge right there, but it looks like it's gonna be working. So Riptire coming out from Mets from the side, like you mentioned, hiding from the sides actually takes out Swaggings and Cassin, and they will continue to fight on the point. But I don't think this is gonna work out for them, especially when there's a Pharah above their head, just pinging down onto ING and Cassin.
Honestly, Mads, does he have ESP or something? He put the bear trap exactly where he was gonna land, able to demech Annoying Boy finally. Annoying Boy getting back his mech, and Eternite.Forte showing so much life in this one. And this defense here on Temple of Anubis, the real question is, can they keep it up? This might be their last hurrah in the open division. Gravitas Surge comes on up, but I believe it got, no, it's gonna be on to the right hand side, and where the hell did that go? Wow! Eternite.Forte win that out in a very, very questionable Graviton Surge coming out from the side of Limit Breaks.
Just grab someone for hit. Oh, I don't know where the grab was going, but it got stuck into the side of the pillar on top of Nest where the Bastion was planted in the previous fight. So it's a really crazy grab right there. Anyway, Mads with the retire will be searching for someone. That's
no,
a
that is
right
absolutely unfortunate. If you saw, Mads fell down as he popped the Riptire due to his model changing, and now here comes Limit Breaks. They might lose just because of that. That's absolutely unfortunate there for Eternite.Forte. Self-destruct gonna come on out. Can't Tokpoki get a kill. It's gonna be Swaggins falling. Shatter comes on out. Chocowolf onto the floor. Doesn't have the Transcendence anymore. And my heart weeps here for Eternite.Forte. Chocowolf not being cute anymore. Gets taken down. And a celebratory self-destruct gonna come into the middle match. Switching to the Tracer. Rocket Raj comes on out as well. It's not gonna be enough. And it's gonna be Limit Breaks taking the win. 3-0 in this map though. 3-2, but my heart weeps there for Eternite.Forte, especially Mads falling down out of nowhere.
POTG is annoying by this time. Limit Break saying, you know, we can't let Matt take all the credit. We're gonna get in a couple of POTGs of our own, and this may be the start of more POTGs from Limit Break.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be the series. Limit Breaks with the 3-0. That could have been. Oh man, I'm so sad.